Welcome back to season 8, episode 2 of the Wheel Reads. I'm your host, Alan the Blank Reads. Because I was the Wheel Reads, and now I've started more podcasts, so I'm just fill in the blank reads. Yeah.
The Hustler reads.
The Hustler Reads.
There you
Ooh, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna do a podcast on reading through the Hustler magazines. I don't think so.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by not a real ad, but if you want to sponsor us and send me free bottles, by all means, please do. It's brought to you by Each Taylor. Very.
Ooh.
I got a single barrel. My next door neighbor came over for dinner tonight, and he's like, "I did pick up guac, so I gave you a bottle out of my collection." And
Nice.
yeah, it's a single barrel H. Taylor, which on the black market goes for like $300 a bottle.
Yeah, he was very, very kind.
And I've drank a lot tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we drank a lot at dinner, but I have a heavy pour and I'm enjoying
Nice.
my fancy whiskey that I got for free.
So that's Alan, also sponsored by Box Wine, the Yellow Box. Mm. You know that Yellow Box be hitting.
What's that? What is that? Is that a regular beer?
I said
It's just-
Coke Zero.
Oh, I thought it was like a regular beer. Just you have you're giant.
Your
so
hands are so big. Yeah, you should.
It's like
No, that's a tall boy, Alan. Hold it
That's
up
a tall
again,
boy.
Chris. That's Chris holding the tall boy.
And Coke Zero.
Coke Zero. Yeah, pretentious whiskey. Yes, it's very pretentious whiskey. It's very good whiskey though. It's very tasty. And very high in alcohol content. So 100 proof.
Good.
So yeah, good stuff.
It's that good stuff. And it's bourbon, not whiskey, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bourbon. It is bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Well, then again, all bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon.
Yeah,
so.
it's Kentucky straight bourbon. There you go.
It's a good
So
stuff.
I'm enjoying my whiskey tonight. Probably too much. So announcements. No new patrons, but we have a whole lot of announcements coming on. So if you guys want to join Patreon, anybody listening, feel free to. It does support us in a lot of different ways. It allows us to do things like buy a hotel room for Chris at JordanCon, which was clutch. New
Yes,
equipment
Mr.
at the
Appreciated.
time. I do have an extra camera back here that I just got in the mail. It's not for me. It's for Chris. Chris, your camera sometimes is doing a little bit of glitching. I was going to send it to you, or next time you're in town, I was going to give it to you.
There you go.
Okay.
But it allows us to buy
Upgrades.
equipment and things like that, get upgrades. Also giveaways. We do giveaways quite often. We're going to do another one this month. It's going to be done soon, and it's going to go to. Where am I doing it? Hold on, I'm on the wrong. I don't even know where I am right now.
By the way, I'll
Thanks,
be in
whiskey.
town next month. So
Oh, okay, cool. I'll give it to you then. Yeah, I'm gonna do on Discord. So Discord's gonna get a giveaway this month. So that's coming up soon. So keep checking the Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord, please do. We do giveaways on there, and we do other stuff. And the first time reader chats have been pretty active. So if you're a first time reader and you want to chat about the book you're reading on the Wheel of Time, come check it out. It's pretty awesome. But other things going on in this world. So we have this going on tonight. Sunday we launched the Cosmere Reads, a Cosmere podcast, started with the Mistborn. On the 12th we
Sunday
have
you
Water
launched.
Fortune.
you didn't launch it last Sunday.
No, it's
Right?
it's coming
Okay.
up. Yeah,
Okay, sure.
on the 7th. So
And
if you're
that's YouTube, we'll be able to watch.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
Cool.
Yep, you'll be able to watch. So it's going to be on this channel on YouTube. It's going to be on a separate channel for the podcast. It's not going to be on the Will Reads podcast. You have to search for the Cosmere Reads podcast. You won't be able to find it yet because we don't have an episode, so it's not anywhere. So you can't search for it yet. But I will let you know when you can. It's also we have a Discord section for it as well. So join the Discord. It'll be a lot of fun. Water Fortune's coming up on the 12th, so that's 10 days away. We got 3 guests lined up for that. I'm not ready to announce because one guest is 90% sure is coming. So until he's 100%, I'm not going to announce the contestants because we might have a different person. And I don't want to say one person and it beats someone else. So, so that's coming up. So lots of fun stuff. And then eventually we'll do more. The Will Reads does Cosmere with part 3 of the Way Kings, and at some point, and we'll do some live reactions for patrons. But we're gonna do all the things. We do all the things here. So keep keep checking us out. Stuff
I
is
get
coming.
to be a read and find out person.
Yeah, I'm excited to be a
Yeah.
fan of it. You know?
Fan of it, yeah. It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. They're
I
really
might even
excited.
be a patron of that account.
I just
Yeah.
made my first
About to sign up.
Discord post in months, if not
Oh,
years.
did you? I didn't even check it out. What'd you
Yeah,
say?
I just made it. I just said I
okay.
can have fun here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been yeah, it's Discord's been fun. So go check it out. But yeah, so that's it for announcements and everything coming up new. As far as personal life, last weekend was kind of like a whirlwind. We did like Saturday was like the day from hell because we woke up in the morning and we went to Busch Gardens first thing in the morning. And my daughter got to ride the roller coaster for the first time. It was Grover's roller coaster in the Sesame Street place.
Oh, good one, yeah.
So little fun roller coaster, but still, she's 3 years old, so it was fun getting to ride with her. And we had to do it because if you're local, and Busch Gardens is like 20 minutes away from us, they have this new thing that as long as you visit Busch Gardens before May 1st, and you were enrolled in a preschool locally, you get a free season pass. So all of my kids are in preschool. So I was like, and this was the last weekend. So I was like, Saturday morning, I don't care if we go for like, we literally only went for 1 hour. We just like went in, rode like 2 rides and left. But it was just like, we're going. Like, why are we staying so short? And I was like, don't worry about it, kids. You don't understand, but this is a money saver. And
yes,
and
we are working the system.
You got free entertainment for all summer long. So
you see this, you like it, we can come back whenever you want.
Every day.
So yeah, so sorry if you live locally and you missed that. Next year they'll hopefully do it again. But yeah, this year they did that free preschool passes. So
more importantly, Alan, when you were on this little kitty roller coaster with your girl, did you play it up like arms in the air, like whoa? Like did you go full send?
She was full send.
Yes.
Yeah, and my son got to ride it for the first time alone because he was tall enough to actually ride it without an adult next to him.
Oh, so now that was fun, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a fun time. We did that for like 2 hours, and then we went to 2 different birthday parties. So like we left there, we came back home, and then my oldest and my wife went to my niece's ballet, and then I took the other 2 to a birthday party. And then we left there immediately to another birthday party for dinner. So like literally we were gone from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and doing stuff. And to say I was exhausted was a understatement.
That's a long day with the age of your kids. That's a long day.
I'm surprised they lasted the whole day.
Dude, the toddlers have energy that you wouldn't believe. Like
as long as they're motivated, as long as
there's stuff going on, and it's like, and they have other kids around them, it's like they won't stop. They crash hard. Like I mean, we put them down,
when the
like,
excitement's over, it goes real
when we
fast.
put them to bed, like I got downstairs, I looked at the monitor, and all 3 of them were out cold. Like so fun weekend. That was the gist of my weekend, was just a lot of running around, and then Sunday I just relaxed. So there it is. That's what's going on in my life. And then
and recorded with us.
Oh yeah, Sunday I recorded with you guys. We did Cosmere Sunday night. It's all a blur because once you have that kind of weekend, everything else is a blur. Yeah, we did record. But yeah, then I've been busy trying to launch a new podcast. So I'm a glutton for punishment. I don't like sleep. That's the reason. That's the reason.
Overrated.
Sleep's overrated. So yeah. How about you guys? What's going on?
Well, I actually do like to sleep, but my back doesn't like to let me sleep. So working on different medications on that, but that's not that big a deal, you know. I've got stuff going on, and I'm gonna hold off at least a week before putting it out there because I'm still processing potentially good things. I mentioned before on the we did the Way of the Kings, you know, I got a job offer for a job that's only 1 day a week. I got to go in 4 days a week. I can work from home. That's going to be huge. So, knock on wood until the final offer comes through and I actually start it. That's going to be big for all things recovery, being able to, be there for the kids more and all that jazz. But a couple other big things like potentially in the works. I believe enough in jinxing that, and these are important enough. I just don't want to mention anything until stuff happens. So potentially good news next week.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't work out, I might not even mention it. So this could,
Yeah,
I'll just leave you in suspense forever. Anyways,
yeah. Don't count your chickens till they hatch, right? Is that the
right? Something like that. Don't put the cart in front of the chicken coop.
Something like that.
Make like a tree and get the fuck out of here.
Sure.
Something like that.
I love when you have like origins of words. I just learned this one the other day. The whole 9 yards has nothing to do with football.
No.
Really?
It's nothing to do with football at all.
I don't think I ever thought about it. Oh, it has to do with jail, doesn't it?
Nope.
No.
Nothing to do with jail. It has to do with World War II planes.
Oh.
So in a World War II plane, a P-51 Mustang,
That's
they
what
had
they need.
9 yards of ammo. The ammo chain that they could fire was 9 yards. And sometimes when they took out a bad guy, they'd give him the whole 9 yards.
Oh.
Yep.
So when you give it the whole 9 yards, you gave it
That's
all.
what I do to my wife.
I just learned it the other day.
Were you the one that posted about why we have uppercase and lowercase? Why we call it that?
I did not, but that was great. I love that one too.
Okay, yeah, that was good. The actual
what is
back in the printing press days, the upper the lowercase had all the
case, the actual case,
the physical case
for
with
the
the letters.
Had all the lowercase.
So the
letters.
lowercase was the lowercase, the uppercase was the capital letters.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my wife. I'm gonna give you the whole 9 yards.
And then when she goes, she's gonna go, yeah, baby, and then just go. Like, yeah, what's wrong with you?
Fun times.
I'm gonna do a gangsta style though.
Yeah, I know. To the side, you gotta. So it goes faster. Make sure you.
Chris, what's going on in your world besides giving your wife the whole 9 yards?
Sums up my week.
Yeah, it would take me at least a week to give
guys.
9 yards. It'd probably take me 2 weeks to give 9 yards, really.
No,
just a little at a time.
The week went by fast. It was. I mean, I don't even feel like I did anything. Oh, we saw John. We did a John Wick marathon.
Ooh.
Which really drained Chanel a lot because I didn't realize exactly how much killing was in that movie until after I sat there with her, and I'm like,
especially the most recent movie.
Sorry. Oh yeah, but it was like 9, and I won't ruin it for anybody, but that ending, I'm not sure how I feel about it still. I'll just leave it at that.
I was entertained. It was good. There were some emotions involved. It was good.
I was fully entertained, fully emotional. I'm not sure. I still have hope. That's all I'm gonna say, and probably for no good reason, but I still have hope.
Also, we're convinced Moraine's still alive, and everybody laughs at us. So
correct.
Maybe we're just the type that has hope no matter what.
Exactly. We are hopeless romantics.
Yep. But our hope did bring back Tom, so I'm not abandoning the hope.
I'm not abandoning hope at all, especially like reading what we read just in these last 2 chapters. Like there's just more to it out there in the world. So, but now this weekend it was just really relaxed. It was really cool. Oh, big news! Chanel's youngest sister just got engaged yesterday.
Oh, I saw that! Yay!
So, like, I know I had said something about it the last time. So I had prediction like it's going to happen soon, and her boyfriend of at that point 6 years got down on he bent the knee.
Nice.
So,
and how well have you gotten to know him, or is it just you've met him a few times, or
no.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon's a cool guy. Like, he is. Yeah, just straight up all about her and has been since day one. Like they started hanging out as friends, and how friendships lead to other things. So, that he's been solid. He's moved here to Charlotte, and he's from Tennessee. So, like, he's just really awesome person. So I couldn't be happier for them.
Well, cool.
Speaking of watching things, my wife and I watched the first episode of Jury Duty. Have you seen that?
No.
Not.
It's on Freezy, which is like the Amazon free like streaming service.
know
It's
they
an
have.
interesting concept. I don't know if I'd like it or not yet. It's like The Office, but with a twist. So it's jury duty, and it's all paid actors, like shot like The Office, but one person answered a Craigslist ad to be on it, and is not an actor and doesn't know he's in a movie. He thinks he's in a documentary. He thinks he's in a on a TV show. He thinks he's in a documentary.
Now that would be hilarious.
It's kind of like the Truman Show-ish, but like Slash meets The Office. Slash kind of like it's interesting.
I guess I need to start checking Craigslist ads for random stuff.
For real, I'm like,
but like it's in Hollywood, like it's jury duty in LA. So like there's actually a famous actor on there, and like he recognizes him like immediately. He's like, "Hey, weren't you an X-Men?" He's like, "Yeah, I was." And like he's like, "You see that other juror's socks? It looks like Sonic. I was in Sonic movie too." And it's like, "Yeah, I heard it wasn't good."
Nice.
Like it's almost like a little subtle. It's pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, I saw that. My wife and I watched one episode. I don't know if we're going to continue watching it. I enjoyed it. She didn't. I'll probably still watch it. 12 Angry Truman shows. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. So, anything else before we just get right into it?
no, my
Let's do it.
Since I got married.
Welcome to the club.
Chris, I would love to have boring right now. I've had too much all over the place, crazy stuff happening really since I got notified that I was deploying. It's been nonstop ridiculousness. I needed to slow down.
My excitement next door brings me over whiskey. It's really fancy whiskey, and that's the excitement of my life.
That's good. It's a good day.
It's exciting.
That's
though.
a great day. I mean, the continual practicing for making babies is awesome, but you know, the whole
That's
9
fun.
yards.
Practice makes perfect.
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Let's do it.
I thought the cat was on Chris's head for a second. Almost.
I did tell him look at how excited he got when he was.
You're talking about me.
I'm on camera. Wait,
he was excited.
Ian deploying? No, Ian is not deploying. Sorry, someone chat. No,
it's when he was deployed.
Past tense.
I'm
saying life has been crazy since the beginning of the last one.
Yeah. Ian's not deploying.
Yeah, you gotta remember that. I announced. I was like, guys, I bought a house. Guys, we finally went to court. I'm getting more time with my kids. And then literally, so that was within a week of each other. And then 2 days later, I got the phone call of congratulations. You've been put on active duty. You are deploying.
The geese are flying south.
Yeah. Fuck. And I was like, wait, is this a joke? They're like, nope. Pack your shit. We'll see you in a couple days. Click. And it's been great since then.
Yeah.
What do we think about the wind rising?
Chapter 1, To Keep a Bargain.
Ooh.
You ready to read it?
Sure.
Oh, I don't have it in front of me. Chris, you got it?
I do.
It's always better when you read it anyways.
The wheel of time turns and ages comes and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten. And when the age that gave its birth came again, in one age called the third age, by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose above the great mountain islands of
Chilmalking.
That word. The wind was not the beginning, and there was neither beginning nor ending to the turning of the wheel of time, but it was a italicized beginning. Now we're getting wind. So somebody broke the wind, y'all.
Yeah. The wind always rises and it goes somewhere. So this time it goes past a big hand holding a crystal ball.
Ah, dude. I was like, what? The minute I heard that, I was like, it's about to go down already.
Yeah.
Like we now know where this what we call it a terangrial.
Angrial.
Yes.
Is it so
It's so powerful.
So powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the big like from either world that they were digging out of the ground, and there's another
The
one.
Great
right?
Hunt. Yeah, that was near Kyrian.
Great Hunt. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we know there's two.
So, like, how do they connect, and what is their purpose?
Gonna have Rand on one side, Nynaeve on the other.
But so the one that was in Kyrian, what was that one?
That's just one of the pair.
But is it a male and a female, or are they two different male?
It was a male in Kyrian.
Yeah.
So, and then we have we don't know what this one is.
No, it's got to be.
No, because
I think we speculated. I think that
that there's
man and a woman's got to handle both sides of it.
Now,
but I'm thinking, I think that's how you do the actual reset. If you have a man on one side and a female channel on the other side, they do the biggest, most massive balefire, and it hits the entire universe. And
that would be crazy.
Then it starts over. That's how you start the beginning of the wheel again.
Yeah, the one in Tremosian, not Tremelking, Tremosian, which is in Kyrian, or near Kyrian, is male.
So this is our female one.
Wait, Hal's got the birds and the bees. Can you put that up? Alan, you see it?
The birds and bees. Okay. So when a big male statue loves a big female statue.
They have a somersault contest behind closed doors.
I wonder if there is a significance to the placement of them. Like I haven't looked at a map, but like where these places in relation to each other on a map, or like maybe I'm thinking too far into it in that, but maybe.
So Tremelking's off the coast. It is in the map, but it's off the coast, way down. It's an island off the south, in the south.
It's an island, so it's gonna be humid and moist.
Yeah. So, but we continue the wind continues over the Sea of Storms and goes through the fleet with Shanshan banners flying, and it blows right into Ebudar. And we go right into Avienda's point of view. She's worried about a damn tree killer kid. Why do I care about this? Why do I care about this tree killer kid?
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, Ian. I think you were onto something early on, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Her maternal instincts, her womanly instincts, keep kicking in here.
Hey, I didn't consider that perspective. I'm so locked into him.
Some like gut issues, and she can't manage to channel properly, and just
her emotions are kind of getting away from her here and there, which is
over the place.
I say is okay, but uncommon for Aiel, I feel, to let the emotions fly like that.
Someone did, So in Fires of Heaven, I think it was, Beldoman did comment about a female statue of a Tremelking.
Yeah, I do remember. So, but going back to this.
Yep.
I mean, I'm just gonna validate what you said.
So when I first mentioned it, it was so many months, if not a year ago. It seems like it can't still be possible. But then we were reminded that the last book happened in a very short amount of time.
10
days.
10 days.
So is it still possible that she is with child? Yeah, right.
It was Eye of the World that Beldoman said that. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we don't deal with facts here.
No, we just make sure.
But
that was 3 years ago, Zul. All right.
Right. Now that being said, we appreciate when you all add facts, and Alan does that thing where it comes up on the screen because it makes our show look more professional. That facts are being discussed.
Yeah.
We're just generally not responsible for the facts. Right. So thank you.
I have not reread the books since we started the podcast. I read it through right where we started, and then I've been reading along the same pace as you guys. So a lot of stuff's been 3 years old at this point.
Right.
Skin pricked between Avienda's shoulder blades as she strode ahead of the companion. Like when an Aiel has that moment where something just doesn't feel right, you should not ignore that. And on top of that, she's not even just an Aiel. She's with the power, like, and maybe even with a child, but with the power for sure. Like, I don't know why she didn't speak up right then and there. Like, all right, something's wrong here. Let's get a move on.
I've got the power.
Normally she's stirring those things. And she's like, "Oh, maybe it's my imagination. There's no enemies here." Like, I don't like the fact that she's beginning to second guess herself. Like, she's creating imaginary toe for herself. I'm like, Evian, I need you to continue to be the strong warrior we met 3 books ago, however long it was.
All right. That was my fault.
As we just finished talking about how unprofessional we are, that's perfect.
It's perfect. I was scrolling through like the things and it clicked because like the touchpad. Sometimes you touch it too quick.
Yeah, likely.
This episode is brought to you by H. Taylor Whiskey. I've been drinking it tonight, and
this is like an original episode.
Now, this might be a stretch, but I remember when Avienda was first getting trained by the Wise Ones, and of course Moraine was there in Egwene, so she got a little Aes Sedai help when she was learning how to channel. But it seemed like early on there were some frustrations, like she was learning stuff but wasn't quite good at it. But flash forward to where we are now, and she's ability-wise, among the strongest. I don't know if that's just focused on potential versus what she could actually do, though. But then, so let's say that is true. Has her ability grown exponentially because in her belly is the child of the Dragon Reborn, and maybe her child has channeling abilities, and obviously you get that mother son or mother daughter, whichever it is, bond, and it's like making her power that much stronger.
They're gonna make it a group. They only have 12. No, we have 13. She's probably not really pregnant. No, that's probably the funny thing. We keep assuming this, and she's not. So let's continue.
Wait, I have one last random thought because there's nowhere else for this to go.
Sure.
I've been thinking about the bond between an Aes Sedai and a warder, but then I've also been thinking about they talk about Age of Legends and how certain things could be done between men and women who channeled together. And I'm like, well, what if the bond originally was supposed to be between male channeler, female channeler? Because think about the benefits you get with a bond, and we haven't been able to experience that with Rand and his green Aes Sedai, Alana, because he's keeping her very distant. But what if they actually came together and were working together, and this being able to sense each other and vibe off each other? Maybe that's part of.
They could probably do some pretty powerful now
to do some amazing shit together.
I completely agree with that, and that kind of hit my mind at the end of the second chapter when our mysterious friend who was watching was like, even this connection between Aes Sedai and Warder has me baffled. Like these people have figured out things that weren't even used in the greatest time of history.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what triggered it in my mind, but I don't know. I started dwelling on that. So I don't know. Yeah.
So as Avienda's walking through, worry about Oliver, she finds him. He's playing the streets. So Oliver's just been there the entire time while Matt went looking for him. He's with the kin, just hanging out, just chilling.
I think I missed that part. I think I was just so enthralled about the fact that we have a fully Avienda,
he's there.
Insight.
I knew she was worried about him, but you are certain she found him?
Yeah, he's playing in the streets. Yeah.
Because I didn't quite recall that part, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I remember her making fun of Brigitte for having a fondness for small boys, especially the ugly ones.
Yeah. And
we know why Brigitte is fond of him, because that's Brigitte's soulmate. Brigitte.
Sure. Sure. And she sees Nynaeve arguing with Lan. As Lan's promising to protect her, runs into Teslan.
They didn't find Oliver. Alan's been tipping in the liquor a little bit heavy.
Sorry.
It's not good. No.
Okay. No, you're right.
It's okay.
You're right. They didn't find Oliver.
I'm always trying.
Never mind. Just mentions Oliver a lot.
I do love the fact that we get the moment where we see these moments between Lan and Nynaeve, and Avienda's like, I hope I never become like her. I hope I never lose my wit because of a man. I hope I never I hope I never. And I'm like, you did like completely run away from a man, open up a gate that you didn't know how to do, ran into an area where there's snow and you're not, fit for that. And then you laid on your back for him. So, I hate to say it, but I think you're kind of on par with Nynaeve here.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, so they're gathering, they're looking to head out. Teslin runs into them. Teslin has promised not to interfere with Elaine's plans. But Nynaeve this is also when Nynaeve starts to tell Teslin about the Golem and Magedion and the Black Aja and all this stuff coming, and there's storm.
And Teslin's a red, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always already that little bit of tension there, which
She's
I only
a former
bring that
sitter.
up.
Yeah,
Right.
up the red. Yeah.
I bring that up to give a little credit to Nynaeve, like just recognizing, okay, stuff that's happening is so serious. We need to not pick and choose who we share this with. This is important information to share with everybody. But then the frustrating side is she's like, the Red's response is essentially like, yeah, whatever. You just making shit up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we've only had like one instance in this book so far where there's been like some good communication, and it took Matt and Brigitte getting wasted for it to happen. And every other time, like even if one side tries, the other side's like, "Ha yeah, whatever." It just doesn't happen. But I do appreciate that Nynaeve, who traditionally, and I don't know, sometimes she has attitude problems. She recognizes the gravity of the situation, despite this person being a red and not exactly their friend. Given the warning. So
yeah, I mean, she dismisses Nynaeve pretty quickly. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think they kind of put their own foot in their mouth because she came to them almost extending an olive branch in her own Aes Sedai red, committed to Elida-ish way. She's like, I did already tell Marililla, or whatever her name is, but I may as well put your minds at rest also. Whatever mischief you are about, Jolene and I will not interfere. I did see to that. Elida may never learn of it. If you do have some care, stop gapping at me like carp children. Anyways, I'd be neither blind nor deaf. I do know that the sea folk windfinders in the palace and the secret meetings with Queen Tylan and other things. So I was beside myself.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was some give and take there. And maybe that was because that came first. Maybe that's what loosened Nynaeve enough to be willing to share. Like, okay, you threw me a bone, let me throw you a bone. But clearly they're not I guess they're still not at the point where they're likely to be buddy working together.
Right.
No,
not at all. I mean, I think she makes a comment, like a snide comment about how she shouldn't even be an Aes Sedai.
Right.
Oh yeah. She said, I can't wait to have you guys back in the whites where you belong. Like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. And she said, we're gonna overlook this for right now, but that's primarily because they're essentially doing them a favor. If they do get the bowl of winds working and they do return weather, then it's going to make the White Tower look good, even though the people don't know which White Tower it was.
Right.
Yeah. And at this point, they run in also to, I think it's like 20 Seafolk Windfinders, led by some Seafolk name person, a long name.
Rock.
Renale Din Kalan Blue Star. Yeah.
The Blue Star Diner.
The Blue Star Diner.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, the kin's there as well. The rest of the knitting circle from the kin, and they're all getting ready, and some other Aes Sedai, and then they all start arguing.
Yeah.
So that's the bulk of this chapter is them really just getting at it.
Yeah, not the kind of getting at it that I care to read about.
Yeah.
So.
Giggity.
Anyways, so let's talk about it.
Well, fill me in though. Like all this is fresh, but what was the gist of the army? My brain's not, or the argument. Were they bickering up?
The kin are unhappy that they're in charge of guarding the Aes Sedai sisters. That's one thing that's going on,
right.
And they're bickering about the Bowl of Winds itself.
When they threaten to just take the Bowl of Winds and leave, they're like,
they're
like, this is ridiculous. What are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. We're just going to take the Bowl of Winds. It's ours by right anyway, since the break-in, blah, blah, blah. And Nynaeve, like, as they're bickering at the peak of it, this is where Nynaeve finally loses her shit and kind of lays into each group. And my favorite part was when she turns to the Aes Sedai that were there and was about to lay into them and then realized, oh, they're actually just trying to calm things down. I don't care. I'm still going to scold you a little bit and then keep scolding people over here. And
yeah. I mean, and they're arguing. The kin and the sea folk are arguing really about who should manage the Bowl of Winds and about moving in general. There's just so much moving parts and so many different personalities and groups here that are all like siloed, and they all just have their own. Yeah, they're frustrated, and like you said, the sea folk are the ones that are like, "We'll just take the bowl and say screw you guys." And Nynaeve's just like, "No, you have a bargain, and until the bargain's fulfilled, it's not yours. So, f you."
Yeah,
get together.
Act like children. Get your shit together and let's get it done.
Yeah. And she even turns to Aes Sedai, who haven't done anything. Like they literally had done and you guys are cool.
You're cool. I'm out here.
F you. You're cool. I'm out.
F you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened there. And before they start arguing again, Avienda starts to open a gateway to the destination. And
very carefully and taking her time, and a majority of the people are watching, trying to learn.
Right.
There was a little bit of, Jordan talks about how the different groups are the sea folk, like by right, because of the bargain, they're able to watch and try and learn. And there's at least one person from the kinfolk. Do we say kinfolk or is it kin?
Kinfolk. Yeah, whatever.
Either word.
They say kinfolk.
Just say kin. They don't
down in Florida, you got to be careful about saying kinfolk because
they call them the knitting circle.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
The whole time in the book they've been the knitting circle.
Yeah,
I
just thought thought it was worth a note.
It's
like
slight.
These different
You're not
factions.
A weaver, you're a knitter.
No. You don't play chess, you play checkers.
Exactly. You're part of the knitting circle.
Yep. But, just worth noting, there's these different factions that they've learned to channel on their own. And they're all kind of semi-working together, watching each other. If all goes well, there's opportunity to share information and abilities. Nothing ever goes well in these books, so I'm not too hopeful, but, for a moment.
Yeah. And then they start moving over through. The sea folk go through first, which the Aes Sedai and kin aren't happy about the sea folk getting to go first. But that's just they're just everybody's kind of being really, really catty and
they're trying to figure out the pecking order.
And it's annoying.
Who. Although, is anybody else getting annoyed by the kinfolk constantly standing up for the Aes Sedai? Like when the sea folk say something snotty to the Aes Sedai, like it's not the Aes Sedai that respond. One of the kinfolk is like, "You don't talk to an Aes Sedai like that." And I'm like, barf, get out of their butt. Like, come on. Do you not realize what's happening in the world? Like, as of right now, once the golem showed up, like you're all on the same playing field. Right now,
the funny thing is that the Aiel were just like that the same way until they actually met the Aes Sedai, and they're like, yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, now it's like the opposite. They're like, they are the worst of the
worst. I'm sure the knitting
circle
is going to feel the same way soon enough.
Yeah. So the group slowly starts to move through this gateway that was created. The servants go through, the sea folk, some of the kin, some of the Aes Sedai, and then as everybody's going through, Alvina looks back and sees a mysterious figure watching, and she gets that feeling of prickling again. She's like, "That's not a servant. It's definitely the golem."
Yep. It's like, send Elaine this message. I forgot what the message was. And Elaine never really got the message anyway. So,
well, she thought it could be the golem, but she knew she's being watched.
Somebody.
I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
She said she wasn't
that
sure
it was the
golem.
What.
No, it wasn't.
Right, I didn't. Yeah,
not at all.
Because
no.
Well, the guy coming up at the very end of the next chapter.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah. He was talking about watching and being frustrated, blah blah blah. So we'll get to that.
The guy that eats the body.
No, the golem eats the body.
Right.
But the golem shows up
after that.
Right. There was a guy talking about it begins with an M.
Morden.
Morden. Yeah.
Morden.
It was Morden.
Whatever.
Whoever he is.
He's the Watcher.
Well, he's not less than. He's more than.
Yes. Morden, the Watcher.
So whatever you think his powers are, it's more than that.
More than human.
I mean, if you think he's significant, just know it's more than that.
That's Rob Zombie, right? Okay. Anyway, yeah. So that's how we end this chapter. It's just a little prickling feeling. Everybody get through fast.
Right. The important part, she doesn't know who it is, but the dude is clearly sus. Like, just watching from a distance,
very much afraid.
It's the first chapter of a book, so there's a whole lot of description that happens in this chapter. A lot about boobs, a lot about cleavage showing, a lot about yeah. I mean, we brushed over all that, but there was like literally 5 pages just of Robert Jordan writing about boobs.
You know what's bad?
How Nynaeve was wearing her clothes too short because now she's a married woman, and yeah, I did realize that.
It might be a sign that when the opportunity arises, Jordan focuses on that too much, because early on, Chris and I, in the early episodes, when he talk about it, we'd point it out, we'd laugh about it. But now,
I was just pretty sure I passed it. Like
now, I just go, "Oh, it's another boob comment." He's focused on the boobs again, so like it didn't even really register because it's not part of the storyline.
It's literally like
are we married to Jordan?
Like of talking about
we're like we're literally married to Jordan at this point. It's like common law marriage, and now we just ignore half of what he says.
Right. The stuff that we deem unimportant, we just totally whatever.
Yeah.
I talked to my wife for like 2 hours today, and I think she heard 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay.
20 minutes, that's a lot.
Yeah. That's what a lot of this chapter's about. And then the arguing, and then the gateway, and then it's over. I mean, it's not much happens, but it's a setup to the whole entire book. So,
yeah.
Chapter 2 is where more stuff actually goes on.
Yeah.
Does it though?
Well, before we dive into it, this might be worth saying. Alan and I talked briefly over the phone about these first couple of chapters, and what I've enjoyed about this, who knows where this book goes, I enjoyed that we literally just kept on moving where we left off from the last book. We've had times where, like, you know, some time goes by, or like you have to read a couple chapters to figure out what's going on. But I was right at home right off the bat. I was like, okay,
I'm
like
pretty sure this actually takes place before the last book ends.
Well, entirely possible.
Because they're in Abu Dar, and I don't think Seanchan's invaded yet.
Yeah, the Seanchan has not invaded yet because they're still looking for Oliver.
It's kind of step back. Yeah.
There's no worry about Matt at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even when Matt got buried, they didn't know about that.
They left exactly. They left.
It could have been happening at like the same time. Anyways, point being,
it could have been. I agree.
We started off, and I was not lost in the sauce. I'm used to the first couple chapters being like, "What the fuck is going on?"
They left Matt.
I can't believe that.
You can't.
Was that part of the?
You can't believe that they didn't put Matt there. Matt had an obligation.
But I'm saying, like, was this a plan? Maybe I missed something, forgot something from the last book. Okay, we can play that game because we're still missing Baron. I don't care what anybody says. We can play that game. Matt can disappear for a while. He can stay buried under that rubble of rocks.
With that dice rolling in their head. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, he's with his new wife anyway. She's going to patch him up.
What are you talking about? He's not married.
He will be.
He will be.
Okay.
Yeah, turns out
book he's going to be engaged.
He's dead.
Turns out we thought there was
a wall.
We thought there was some magic involved with this rolling of the dice. Turns out it was like, you know, TBI, like a traumatic brain injury that we've been ignoring this whole time. And Matt has just finally succumbed to it.
Yep. He had an aneurysm.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Moraine's coming back. Matt's dead.
Moraine who?
Moraine's coming back. Matt's married.
Moraine?
I officially quit the show. I'm done. And then there were 2.
Who? Yeah, we had talked about her in like books. Actually, we talk about her all the time, but she died in a Fire's Heaven. We did Lord of Chaos.
She's not dead yet.
Crown of Swords. Now Path of Daggers. Is she coming back this book? Is that what you guys are predicting? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Or we at least get hopeful of her coming back. We learn about a way that she can come back. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry in advance. So, chapter 2, unweaving.
If she didn't come back this book,
it's gonna be next chapter. It's gonna be next chapter.
She didn't come back this book. I give up on Land Fear.
I'll never give up on Land Fear.
We never talk about her. If Moraine comes back,
Land Fear never gonna let you down. Okay, unweaving.
Elaine stepped onto one side as soon as she was through the gate, but Nynaeve trampled across the clearing. I'm just gonna skip right to it. So we have people that are just as strong as our 3 women from the Two River. That surprised me a little bit.
There's some Aes Sedai that were in the group that were
they're wind blowers or
the wind fighters,
right.
That are just as strong. And in my mind, I think I created this narrative early on, like these were going to be the 3 strongest women yet. Period.
Now I still think Nynaeve is the strongest that we're aware of, except for maybe Forsaken. Only because we haven't had them side by side to see what they can do. I still think Nynaeve is better than or more powerful than the rest. Because in some of the comments, like, and this has happened before when they're assessing people's ability, because Elaine steps aside, and as people are coming through, she's taking that opportunity to kind of get a feel for all the different women's abilities.
Yeah, that's why she sends them through.
And even Avienda, I think, has a moment in these chapters where she's kind of thinking about all the different abilities. And the comparison is usually to Egwene, Elaine, and Avienda kind of being on the same level. But I still feel like Nynaeve is apart a little bit more. Because even Elaine talks about, like, with the Angreal, like, she can, channel more than Nynaeve. But without it, no. And how much more so could Nynaeve channel if she had the Angreal? So I just keep feeling like Nynaeve is put on this pedestal just a little bit above the rest.
Sure. Yeah.
For what that's worth.
Yeah. I think they mentioned, what's the person they mentioned? It's Talon, I think it is. Talon didn't get there's one of the sea folk people are.
Yeah, one of the sea folk they focus on. Yeah. And as they're assessing this, they're also trying to figure out, like, how the power structure works within those communities. I don't know. I think that was more Avienda when she was thinking about it. How it's ridiculous that the power alone, your strength, should determine your position or rank. Like, shouldn't it be experience, not necessarily your ability to channel that puts you in charge, sort of thing? Which that's, I guess that makes sense. I think in like regular, when it's not an emergency situation, that experience is important because there's a lot of things that can be taught and shared with other people. But sometimes in like those emergency situations, when all hell's breaking loose, sometimes you got to play that wild card and just throw your strongest person out there.
Yeah.
And let them run things, I don't know.
Yeah. So they come through, the horses come through as well. And they also have brought through what the other things they found besides the bowl of winds inside the storeroom. And Elaine gets right to sorting through. She wants to go and figure out if anything's worthwhile.
Job to do.
Yeah, and she's looking for Angreal. I mean, that's really what she's wants. I mean, there obviously there's lots of Angreals, but she's looking for something that will increase her power, just in case they run into Forsaken again. Want every edge they can. But she's, going through everything, and there's a couple of things they identify.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
So there's a blue stone that looks like a root, and it's like carving.
Yeah, that was interesting because it was mentioned, and it kind of seemed like it was probably what she was looking for, but it definitely is not. We know that.
Yeah. There's a small ivory box that's not really ivory, but kind of seems like ivory with red and green stripes. A black rod, but it's a tiny black rod.
Hold on, wait. So we went past this box.
Okay.
But I agree. What is the importance of the box? Like, he gave such detail to it that there's something about this box.
I'm hoping that the box is empty, but the purpose of the box
It's
is
for the
to
knife.
contain a golem, to trap and contain a golem.
Oh.
Or worse, maybe there's a golem in there. That'd be.
She doesn't open it though, 'cause she's
Right.
fearful of opening it.
Right. You never know.
Yeah, a flexible black rod that's stiff yet flexible.
Depends on the mood it's in.
Yeah, and Nynaeve says she feels pain. She felt pain from
you
it.
Can bend it around.
Insert as many inappropriate jokes here as possible.
Right. We don't need to. You guys have listened to us enough.
Yeah. A tiny crystal vial filled with a dark red liquid.
Now that's a poison of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my mind went. Yeah, my mind went.
This is a fun one, and this is something that I'm not gonna tell you what it does, but I will tell you a little bit of trivia behind it. There is the short stout man, carving of a short stout man holding a book.
I thought Santa Claus right away with a beard and everything.
Mm-hmm. Now, trivia in an interview, Jordan actually answered about this. It's intended to be a cameo of himself within the books.
That's funny.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's it's Jordan. So the
maybe it's a little loyal.
It's a 2-foot bronze statue of a jolly bearded man holding a book. Is Jordan.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Robert.
I'm not gonna tell you what it does.
Welcome to the books. It probably identifies all the boobs. Like if you're holding it, you automatically know where all the biggest boobs are in town.
Yeah.
I mean, it was Jordan, let's be honest.
And spankings. And you're able to sense spankings from miles away.
And well-turned calves.
And well-turned calves.
To use the black rod.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's the only thing that'll make the flexible black rod stiff.
Yeah. And then, importantly, she does find one ongriel. It's a amber turtle brooch. And she immediately gets feels the power rush into her when she taps into it. Yeah. And she's like, okay, that's an ongriel. It's not quite a silk ongriel. It's not that powerful, but it's definitely an ongriel and definitely worthwhile. So,
well, we know from Rand's experience, the little ones can do big things. So,
yeah.
That's what she said.
It's not the size of the
ongriel. Question mark? And then
I've had very few complaints, I should say. Then
complaints. Debbie Downer, Van Deen, comes down and starts warning Elaine, stop messing around with them objects.
I know someone that basically killed themselves, killed their water, and they lost a week of their life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So apparently 25 years ago, someone used to actually work with ongriel and burn themselves out doing just what she's doing.
To really make a business of studying ongriel. She did it for over 40 years, almost from the time she reached the Shaw. She was careful too, so I was told. Then one day, Martine's maiden found her unconscious on the floor of her sitting room, burnt out. Her warder was dead from the shock. Not unusual in cases like that. When she came 2-3 days later, she couldn't recall what had happened. So this woman had created.
Sounds like heroin to me, honestly. Maybe it wasn't the ongriel.
Journal of everything that she had, telling her exactly what everything did, and yet she couldn't figure out exactly what did it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a black sister snuck in and took something from her that was important and knocked her out.
Sure.
She soon disappeared after that too, just like our other friend. Remember early on, there was the young girl who had her eyes glazed over that disappeared during the chaos.
Yep.
When the White Tower was splitting. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine at least makes a good case. I get there's wisdom from some of the stories from these Aes Sedai things that have happened in the past, but we're also learning as readers, you can't trust everything they know about their own history because they're horrible about communicating really well with each other. But anyways, Elaine's of all the people to be an authority on this topic, I'm literally the only one. Nobody, I can make the triangles. I've tried showing and nobody else can figure it out. I think it has to be done. If anybody's going to do it, it's got to be me.
It's gonna be May.
It's gotta be May. It is May.
Hey,
It's May the 2nd.
There you go. But then, as all this is happening, suddenly Mariella shrieks.
Ah! You fool, girl! Do you realize
Elaine's like, what the hell's going on? She immediately braces Sidar because she thinks something's going crazy.
Oh, they all immediately embraced. Like it was like go Power Rangers.
And then she looks over and sees what Alvin is doing. And she's like, oh, holy crap. Don't do that. But Alvin is just like,
Alvin is like,
and she's literally picking apart the weave. And everything the Aes Sedai's ever been taught is, and even the Sea Folk are like, what the
everybody's kind of freaking out.
Yeah, one, and there's no saying what the weave will snap into or what it will do. You could have completely destroyed everything within 100 paces, 500 paces, everything. You could have burned yourself out, and it was necessary. I love Avi in this response.
She's just so calm and like whatever.
Yes, like, she's with the women.
As wise ones, we learn how to do this as kids. All right.
Nope. No, her first comment was the best. It was, "Is this another thing that y'all don't know how to do?" not. Oh wait, y'all don't know how to do that. Oh, so you're telling me this is just another thing, something else, again that y'all don't know how to do.
She said, "I know the dangers, but it was necessary." Then, is this another thing you Aes Sedai cannot do? The wise ones.
That's hilarious.
They were aghast. Like, did she really ask us that? The wise ones say anyone can learn it.
Yeah, anyone that can pick out embroidery can learn how to do this. Like a kid can learn how to do this. Like really, like not a big deal.
About the logic of it, how irresponsible is it to like weave the things and put them together and not be able to take them apart? Like you're already admitting that like you're so limited in what you can do. I would think if you, even if there's some risk involved, like start with small, simple things and practice putting together and taking apart. Like that would truly make you a master of it. But they don't even bother with that half. No. But anyways, that wasn't really discussed here. I think Avienda makes the best point.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be done.
Yeah, I have to do this.
Like, thanks to Elaine, everybody's freaking out, and Elaine, well, she's kind of freaking out too. At least has some trust in Avienda. And kind of breaks through and was like, I think what we need to do is let Avienda explain what she means by it had to be done.
Right.
Like,
and she explains it. She's like, yeah, if you let it dissipate, like the residue from it can be sensed for weeks. And Forsaken can just follow us wherever we went. Like, but if I do it this way, they can't track us. So
yeah. And doesn't she mention that as she was closing, did she mention that there was some oddball at the other side?
Well, she does it a second. Later in the conversation, she does. But like the first thing that Aes Sedai says, like, well, that's a very rare talent. Many people can't do that. And she's like, well, I can. Yeah, and you're assuming the Forsaken can't. Like, that's bold of you. Like,
right. Aha. And that made a couple of them think. Jordan does a great job of, he describes the reactions of a couple of the Aes Sedai, wind talkers, whatever they are. And when Avienda makes this point, they all have a way of still trying to have a condescending look upon them, but there's also this look of, shit, I didn't think about that. Or, it's a good point, but we're still supposed to tell her not to do it.
Yeah, I can't wait to put you in novice whites. You should be in the book already.
You should be in the book. In the book. And then it's like, this is rare, very rare, a very rare talent. So now they're thinking about all the things they could use her for. It didn't take very long.
Yeah. But she's just like, yeah, whatever. We're doing the thing the right way. And plus, I saw someone watching us, and they're like, who? And I was like, I think it was the Golem. They're like, probably just a servant. Just, you're being paranoid now. He's like, still, nonetheless, I'm being safe. I'm trying to help you guys out. Like,
right.
It would make sense that an ideal wise one or a potential wise one would be the one with this power or with this talent, because they're all about tracking, avoiding being tracked. They're kind of a warrior society. Sure. Like, it just makes perfect sense.
And everybody dismisses this except for, I think it's Elaine. Yeah, Elaine's the only one that doesn't dismiss it, because Avienda confides in her privately and tells Elaine, like, the man scared, like, frightened her. And she's like, if he frightened Aiel, then
We should pay attention to this.
We should pay attention to this.
This is a threat, right? Yeah. So the that was the other thing Alan and I talked about briefly. When it's not, we don't talk about these chapters a whole lot before the show, but we just happened to before this one, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this was a neat thing, the unraveling, the taking apart the weave, like, you know, how you could picture it. And in my mind, you know, I go to any of you military folks out there that have ever taken apart the M2 50 cal machine gun. There's a way to do it that is safe, and there's a way to do it that will send the spring flying through somebody because it's under so much pressure. So, and Alan, what did you say? It's like
taking apart an engine while it's running.
Taking apart an engine while it's running, right? But even that, it sounds absurd, right? Like, oh my gosh, you know, you pop the hood and somebody says take it apart and it's running, like you might freak out. Well, you only freak out if like you don't know what you're doing, and the first thing you do is like just try to take the valve cover off and stick your finger in somewhere. Like that's a horrible idea. But you know, if you're able to disconnect power and blah blah blah, and then slowly break it down, it can be done.
Sure.
Yeah. But if you do it wrong,
it can be really bad.
Very bad.
If you do it the wrong way.
If you disconnect power, then the engine's no longer on. So that's half the fun.
Right. But I guess the idea is
getting the steps right.
The steps right. Like if you just start trying to take apart random things while the engine's running, it can be very, very bad. But if you know, okay, this is where the power goes, I'm going to disconnect that first. It's not that dangerous to try to take apart an engine, even if it's running. Yeah. Like that was the analogy I used. And then I just never took the time to, I guess, my analogy was like an engine, understand exactly how it's working. So,
right.
Whereas,
that
was my analogy.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was kind of neat. I was very proud of Avienda.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I could recognize how it could be dangerous, but I'm not too worried about it.
Nope. Yeah. Not the slightest.
And yes, this is the first time we hear it residues. I believe so.
Well, specifically saying residue, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
there's been plenty of hints of sensing other people channeling, and
and Rand was able to track where Samuel went to Shatter Logoth, even though the gateway had closed. Yeah, so there's been hints to it, but they didn't specifically name it as a residue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a big surprise when it came out. I wasn't like, "Ooh, what's this residue?" I was like, "Okay, so we're gonna call it residue." Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This thing that we were already somewhat familiar with.
We're putting a name to something that's happened before.
Yeah.
And red residue and the shadow rising. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
The juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah. Thank you, Hal. Anything from all this before we switch to our favorite character, Morden?
No.
Good old Maury.
Yeah.
Maury.
Mm-hmm.
It might sound like we're stretching to make an episode out of these two chapters, but these aren't like boring chapters. There's definitely good stuff in there.
Dude, we're an hour in. We're right on time.
Okay. Yeah, but think about the hour. We've been bullshitting a lot and sidetracking a lot. But it's not that I normally that happens on chapters I don't like. I like these. There's good stuff.
Well, welcome to the Will Reads. It's what we always do, Eddie.
Yeah. Right.
Morden. So it was Morden watching because he's watching the party depart, and he's frustrated because he doesn't understand how the gateway just disappeared without any residue. And he thinks on it. He's like, another thing that no one could do back in my time. It wasn't possible. Like
these people keep surprising him with like very unique things that they didn't even do, like at the Age of Legends sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Does he say disappear? Maybe he does, but he also describes it another way. He says it like melted away, or
but no residue, and he's frustrated by it.
Because it seemed like it was part of his plan. He was like, "I'm not too worried. We'll be able to know where they're going." Ah, shit.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea where they went.
Yeah.
You know. So her strategy worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple of things. I mean, so like healing Severing. What Nynaeve did, that's one thing. The water bond was unheard of in the Age of Legends, and now unweaving. So there's been three things that Forsaken have commented on that were not present in the Age of Legends.
So the water bond, but I still don't think that discounts my theory on bonding between male and female channelers.
No, I think it solidifies it.
Linking? Are you talking about linking? Like,
well, it could be
circles?
linking, but like, so what if you take whatever bonding actually is and you do it consensually, in both directions between
yeah, okay,
male and female channelers. Yeah. So now, no matter where they're at, you can feel them, you can sense them. In the heat of battle, you sense what their movements are and what their feelings are and emotions and stuff like that.
I mean,
that'd be pretty awesome.
Alana and Rand are male and female that are bonded now.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I would like, what if they actually start like hanging out?
Back?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So is that possible? Would that strengthen it? But even if it only takes a one-way bond, like right now, Rand's keeping her at a distance. What if they actually started trying to learn everything about this and how they could, take advantage of it and channel together or work together? Maybe that's what gets us to that. Now we're flying sort of thing.
Yeah, my favorite thing when people get into like the metaphysics of the Wheel of Time, like Robert Jordan did answer a lot of stuff that's not answered in the books and like interviews. And one of my favorite ones, and this is something completely different, you reminded me of this, like going kind of abstract, is like, could you make a gateway directly to behind yourself to scratch your own back? Like, and like reach through, and Robert Jordan's response was, "Go get laid."
I think you mentioned that one like way early on. That's great.
I think that was the question though. It's like, can you make a gateway like directly behind you and then like reach through and then scratch your own back? Like, how would that work? Metaphysics, like afterwards, like just go get laid.
Like if I reach through the gateway and then touch myself, will it feel like my own hand, or is it like the stranger? Like, what are we? That's curious what I could use this for. Go get laid.
Go get laid.
Yeah. Could I scratch my own back?
Yeah.
Wink. Where's Alan? We just taught him how to do the gateway shit. We haven't seen him in a whole day.
There's a reason he's at the convention.
I sense channeling in the bedroom. What's happening? He's in there by himself.
So back to Moradin. So Moradin's with the servant Madik, Madik, and
wait, what are the colors the servant wears?
I don't have that written down. I don't remember.
Do you have it open at Chris? When the servant comes
in? Great Master. It's called the Bull of Winds. Moradin back down. Great Master. The balding man in green and white who had slipped into a small room.
I only asked.
Thank you, Zool. If you made a gateway behind yourself and then balefied yourself, that was the question. And he told her to get laid or get a dog.
It's even worse. What if you finger blasted yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go back in time so you never made the gateway? Or like, she was like, that's what the question was. Thank you.
That's one of those things that would like destroy reality.
I knew it was something behind your back, but it wasn't scratching back. It was balefire, which is even worse. Like,
right. That would create a tiny black hole and everything would collapse on itself.
Yeah, it's like
anyway, so my color question, insignificant, but I thought for a moment they mentioned the color of that box was green and red. And then I remember I was like, wait, the servant had some colors on him. It was green and something, but that's green and white. Yeah. So I'm not going to jump and make a connection. If it was green and red, I'd be like, there's something there. But
yeah. And he's reporting that they have a tower girl that can fix the weather. And
they call it the Bull of Winds. Master.
Ooh. And Moradin gets upset about it. He's like, oh, the Great Lord's been working so hard to mess with the weather, and they're gonna change everything.
No, to set the season.
Right.
Not play with the weather to set the season. There's something important or required about this season and his release.
Winter is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Winter's heart is coming.
Well, that too, but I really do. There's some significance for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so he. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was sorry, jumping topic a little bit. He has a little bit of that frustration too, where he's like, these people aren't supposed to be able to control the weather, but like apparently there's people that can naturally feel, sense, and maybe influence the weather. Right. So this is another thing he's kind of pointing out, like abilities that are slightly different. So in this thought process, at first he's like, oh, they can't do much with it. But then he's like, this bowl of winds, in the right hands with somebody that maybe already has that
talent. Yeah.
That talent, this could be an issue. So a little bit worried about what they could do with it, but also really more recognition of
direction. Because remember, he's kind of playing all sides. He is worried about what the Great Lord would feel, or how he'd feel strained by it and be upset about it. But at the same time, he's also playing his own angle. He's like, where do I go next? What's my next move? And so I like this guy a little bit, but I can't figure out why yet.
Yeah. And so we know he uses the true power.
The true power.
Which is linked to
the dark one.
The dark one.
And not the one power.
Right. I don't feel that he serves the same agenda as the dark one. But I think he's concerned about the dark one because that's the source of the power he uses.
Yeah. So going back to kind of link all the dots, like, and I might have done this in a previous podcast, but I've been drinking. Brought to you by E.H. Taylor.
No, do it again, because I'm still
loosey-goosey. So back how this all started was during the Age of Legends. They were doing scientific experiments, and they sensed another form of power that both male and female could both use, versus being separate powers they couldn't use. So they could channel the same power, and they bored a hole into this space where they could sense it, and that was the true power they were sensing.
Right.
And trying to tap into this different power. And that's how they unleashed the dark one.
Right.
Right. So the true power comes from the dark one himself.
Right. But this guy doesn't necessarily feel like I'm rooting for the dark one.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like he's full on rooting for the dark one.
Okay.
He certainly uses that power.
Yeah.
But he's not I wouldn't call him a good guy. That's not what I'm saying.
He's just a guy.
Did you say he's a bad guy?
Yeah.
Duh.
Excuse me.
Sorry. Doing some Billie Eilish. So yeah, he gets really upset, uses the true power, grabs the steel bars to go crush the steel bars. Doesn't realize with the true power he actually grabbed Matic as well.
And melts him.
And like squeezes him.
Squishes him. Crushes him.
Yeah. And then like he comes back too. He's like, oops. Oh well. I
need another servant. Next.
Next. Like it even says he like cares less about it. Like he's like no care at all about it. He's like, oh well, I just killed the guy.
Right, he's probably like, damn it, my carpet. That's where the concern is.
Do you have to bleed there?
Stop bleeding on my rug.
Yeah. But he thinks about how he has to find the woman before they can meddle more in his carefully laid plans.
Yeah.
Interesting character.
Yeah. And then we switch to the Golem's point of view because he smells the blood.
And watch the Golem.
Because it's his precious.
Yeah.
He's hungry and he wants to eat.
And he has some like a burning, glowing coal on his face from where Matt touched him.
Yep. And he's never had anything like that before. Didn't think anything could hurt him. And now he's really confused by this.
He said he appeared because the fact that he had been drawn by a power, not the one power, but something that made it feel kind of itchy.
Like when you scratch your belly button and you feel it down yonder.
Yeah.
It's like, that's interesting. No, those nerves are all connected. That's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I just scratched my belly button on camera. Sorry, guys. Here go the ratings.
We have ratings?
It's like, it's to be a less sexual one when you get brain freeze. It's actually from the roof of your mouth getting overly cold and the pain reflects up here in your head. Like it's just connected.
Yeah. Our nerves are confusing sometimes.
Or when you have a heart attack and your left arm starts to hurt, which has nothing like it's
Yeah.
Lots of weird stuff happens with nerves. But anyway, so yeah, the golem comes, he smells the blood and senses the power, eats the corpse. But he can also feel where they travel to. He does mention that as well, I think.
I was about to say that it was interesting that even though she unwove the weave, he still has the knowledge of where they went. So what makes him special? Who created him? Because it wasn't our friend here.
I will always say the great Lord. He is the great Lord.
Oh. Alan's got, before the show starts, if I hop on, he doesn't realize Alan's singing hymns to himself, but it's like, oh, the great Lord loves us all.
Shaitan.
And we help make the chaos more chaotic for him. Yeah.
I mean, the theme song of Jordan Con was Peaches by Jack Black, but we sang Shaitan, 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 Shaitan. Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a fun time.
It was. Tis was good. But yeah, so that's how we end this chapter. With the golem.
Well, with the golem eating the leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As he contemplates, he's like, might as well have a snack.
Yeah.
And it does mention that he needs the blood to sustain himself.
Warm blood is his favorite, which is kind of gross.
Right.
Zool has a question for you.
I literally just asked that same question, Zool, and I don't know. This was bothering me because we know it's not from the Dark Lord or whatever, because then this more than guy would know about him, and maybe they'd be working in cahoots.
Well, when we learned about those frog thingies with the multiple eyes, it was not long after that somebody told us that there were like science experiments back in the day where these creatures were created. So by normal people in the Age of Legends, or maybe the people that became the Forsaken, maybe they were like these scientists that worked for Tesla or something, or Amazon, secret skunk labs.
So I just put this comment up there. Someone said Alan's admitted dark friend. So when I was at Jordan Con, I have this book. It's The Origins of the Wheel of Time by Michael Livingston. He was there doing a book signing, and I got him to fill out his signed page to Dark Friend Alan.
Yeah.
Signed copy. He
went to the concert, got the t-shirt. It's official. I'm a dark friend.
He's like, who do I make this out to? I was like, Dark Friend Alan. He's like, he actually looked at me. He's like, you want to put that in writing? I was like, I do.
He was embarrassed for you slightly. He's like, no. But it's all good.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. I mean, they're more than welcome to. You guys want to go to Columbus, Ohio?
C-Bus. I do. I got some people out there, but depends on when it is, and it not
July.
likely.
Second week of July.
Yeah. If you've heard all the issues I've been having for the last year, finances is a thing. So I gotta hold what I got until things get fixed.
Yeah, it's my family vacation, so that's the reason why I don't go to WatCon.
Okay.
It's because we're at the beach that week.
I did look.
That would be cool
when I got back, and I just don't have the time to do it this year. But
in future years, yeah.
In future years, yeah. I think we're gonna go in future years. I mean, that's the plan. I think we are planning on going.
Alan will have 4 podcasts by then, and they'll all be going.
Yeah, I'll have like 20 podcasts, and we'll all just go and have fun. I gave Nablus a hard time because Nablus runs it. He's the kind of the man behind the curtain, not really behind a curtain. He's the brainchild.
The curtain's been pulled back.
Yeah, he's the brainchild of WatCon. Yeah, and we had dinner. Was it Sunday night? I don't know. But yeah, we were talking about it. So if you stop moving the date around, I might be able to come. So
yeah. Not this year, but in future years, keep bugging us.
Keep bugging us.
Definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
We'll make it out there sometime. But anyways, so that's how we end the chapter though, with some munchies and knowing where they are. So, any other thoughts from this?
I'm gonna steal Avienda as the favorite character before you have a chance to say it.
Oh
no, you can have it.
nice.
You can have
I'll
it.
take it. All right, thank you.
I'm gonna take. Is it Thailand? What is her name?
The red.
No, not her.
Talon.
This is where I'm already getting tripped up with names. I feel like she's gonna have a big role to play in correcting the weather.
Interesting.
Yeah. But so Nynaeve also seemed to have a gift for that too from her Wise One days, right?
Yes.
And she's the one also like who's able to sense this storm coming, even though it's more of a metaphorical storm. So I feel like she might play a role as well.
Okay. My favorite character is Morden.
Of course.
And I'm not going to take any questions or explain why.
It's because he crushed that dude accidentally and went, meh.
I mean, I was going to say Tamanas, but I held myself back. Because I figure Ian's about to quit the podcast if I say Tamanas one more time.
Maybe.
Tamanas.
Watch by the end of this, I'm actually like, no, Tamanas is actually a pretty cool dude. Who knows? I might learn to love him.
Yeah, maybe. So next time on the Wheel of Reads, we're doing 3 chapters. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're gonna do A Pleasant Ride.
That's pleasant. Sure.
Yeah. A Quiet Place. Shh. And The Breaking Storm.
Now that's gonna be quite the episode, I feel like.
This is gonna be Elaine's gonna have the bowl of winds going, look, I know what I'm doing. I've been experimenting with all these things. Let me just channel a little bit of and all heck breaks loose.
I can see that.
Yeah. Sounds
or this could be the storm that Nynaeve's been predicting is coming.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing that next week. We will have a guest next week as well, so happy to announce that. We're gonna have a guest on. It's going to be Wine Spring, the Wine Spring Inn.
Yay!
They do cooking and all sorts of stuff like that, and they had the best ribbon.
Wine.
They had the best ribbon from Jordan Con, the Charlic balls. So Charlic balls. And do you eat food? Wine Spring Cafe. So yeah,
awesome.
They're gonna come on our pod next Tuesday. So come listen to us live, and we'll have a guest on. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So looking forward to it.
Yay!
But in the meanwhile, how we can be found is at thewillofreads.com. Yeah, I corrected myself, Zool. I know it's not it's cafe. Yeah, Wine Spring Cafe. Go check them out everywhere. But in the meantime, you can find us at thewillofreads.com. Find links to our Discord. It has lots of channels, way too many channels, but that's okay because there's lots of things to talk about.
Something for everybody.
You can talk about whatever you want there. There's there is rules. I would say there's no rules. No, there are rules. But it's the rules make sense. Don't spoil
dark friendly rules.
Yeah, don't spoil non-readers and don't be a dick. That's pretty much the rulers.
And it works out.
That's it. Yeah. It's very simple. Go support us.
It's a great way to stay in shape.
Yeah, go support us. If we can buy merch, you can just listen to us, or you can go to our Patreon and become a patron of ours. So we do enjoy and love all of our patrons and all of our listeners too. So listen to us, support us, follow us, all those great things. Write reviews. I like all of them, especially the bad ones, because they make me laugh.
They're fun.
The good ones make me cry because I feel like not like joyful cry. The bad ones just make me laugh. But yeah.
Well, we're not used to being loved, so when you guys do it, it's like stop it, stop.
I was never held as a kid. Most of the time, I grew up around Ian, where he just bashed me down all the time and called me names, and so it was just yeah. I appreciate it when you say the good things because it makes me cry. That people like me.
Gosh darn it, people like me.
Darn it, people like me. That's all I got for this week, guys. So
until next time,
watch the Cosmo Reads and peace.
Okay, bye.